Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today we're going to be doing our weekly check-in for week 3 and week 4. This video is a bit late, so I decided to just kind of do week 3 and week 4 together. It is going to be a little bit longer because of that, since it's going to be the rest of our month. We're going to go ahead and just get right into it. I am going to just show you guys the spreads that we have set up so far, which is the monthly view. We did set up the savings tracker together along with the dashboard and our variable income, our December budget, our weekly check-in, weekly balance, sinking funds, and transaction log. I do have videos setting up all of these spreads with you guys if you are curious. Let's go ahead and start laying down our stickers. I already have all of our expenses written down for all the days of what expenses was spent on what day. And we did have quite a bit of expenses for the remainder of this month or this year in general. So first things first is on the 17th, which is December, which is on a Sunday, we did spend some money for groceries, one of them being for H Mart. We spent $33 to get some groceries, and I'm going to be zooming you guys in a little bit this time around. So that was $33. We usually get a lot of our fresh vegetables from there. Then we got Costco, which was $46. We probably ended up getting more groceries from Costco. We like to get a lot of fruits from here and some other miscellaneous things. Now that was the only two expenses from our categories. And this pink color also symbolizes groceries, which is our key. We do color categorize all of our different categories. I know that this video, I'm kind of jumping right into it, but I definitely do go into a lot more in depth for week 1 and week 2's check-in if you guys are curious about the way that we do budget and how we set up our system and how we kind of like navigate throughout everything. But the next thing that we spent was on Monday. On Monday, we had spent some money from our eating out category, which is this gingerbread color, and that was from Krispy Kreme. We did end up getting like, I think, a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme, if I'm not mistaken, but the holiday donuts for Christmas time always gets me. Especially this year, it was like the elf flavor, so like one of the ones that had like the maple syrup frosting was so good. But that was on Monday the 18th. Then we had a bill that came out on Tuesday. For this bill, it was our mortgage, so that definitely is quite the lump sum. For a mortgage, that was $2,317.66 that came out this day. So that was on the 19th. Then on the 20th, we also spent from our eating out category. And for this day, we did get some burgers from 50/50. That was $35. We got 2 burgers and some onion rings, I believe, and some french fries. But that was on the 20th. Then on the 21st and 22nd, nothing was spent these days. On the 23rd, we did spend some money. One of them was we spent from our allowance category, which is this kind of brownish cream color, and that was $15 for Starbucks because we did end up refilling to get my husband's family some coffee. Okay, there we go. I'm struggling a little bit because of the nails. These are my press-on nails that I wore a while back. I just figured the green matches with the green, so I wanted to wear them again before the year is over. But the last thing that we spent on the 23rd was we did get gas. Gas was $35 for a refill. Gas seems to always be around this amount, unless we end up refilling when our tank is not as low. But it looks like for us, the full tank is usually around the 35-ish range, but that was $35. Then we also have our HBO that came out as well, which is a bill. I probably should have laid down the bill first, but it's okay. The HBO was $16.95. My voice keeps cracking, so I do apologize. Okay, so that was HBO. Then we have nothing spent all the way up until Thursday the 28th, which is very, very good for us. We kind of just stayed home and just kept eating at home, and we cooked a lot this month in general. I don't know if you guys can hear my voice. Oh my goodness. Okay. But the two bills that came out on the 28th was for Spotify, which is $11.65. And I'm actually going to, I'm not the best with lining things up with my left hand, so I'm going to just flip this around and line it up this way. Okay. And that was the one bill for Spotify, $11.65. And then we also had another bill that came out this day, which was for our internet. Our internet bill also went up, but my husband ended up calling to see if there was any promotions, to see if we could bring it down. And for the following year, all of our internet bills should drop to $95, which is pretty nice. So that is going to be our new bills coming in the new year, but this was $117 for our internet. Then on the 29th, we had another bill come out, which was the last bill that we had for the month and for the year 2023. This was my husband's student loan bill. I know that I've been mentioning to you guys about our student loans because I was trying to get the automatic payment changed to a different month. I mean, not a different month, to a different time in the month, earlier in the month preferably, but my husband has Nelnet and their call queue holds are like, it's so ridiculously long. He's been emailing them too, but he hasn't been getting any responses, so I'm kind of just, it is what it is. We're just going to keep it on the 29th. I had one of you guys recommend to pay earlier in the month and try to see if I can replace the payment then, but I tried doing that and it actually didn't work. I'm not sure why, because I remember being able to do that for other types of bills, but at first I thought it was because the first time I tried it, it was too close to the payment amount, but I tried this back in an earlier week, like a week, 2 weeks before, and it still did not let me do it where it replaced this payment for the month. But it's fine. I'm just going to just keep it as is, and I'm just going to continue just doing the debt payments at the very end of the month after the results video, because it actually works out, because that's when we'll have completed all of the savings challenges too, so I can apply whatever we ended up saving towards the debt. But yes, so that's what we're going to just end up doing instead. Then another expense that we had for this day was we did end up also getting burgers from the Habit Grill. We thought that the Habit Grill burgers were like the best burgers, but I think we actually like 50's burgers more. But the Habit Grill's onion rings are so crispy, they're so good. I think besides that, the remaining expenses that we had were on the 31st, and it looks like there's 2 of them, so it should fit. And those were from our babies category and for our groceries. For groceries, we ended up spending $44 on groceries at Costco. We've been shopping at Costco a lot more often to get a lot of bulk items. But that was, let me see if I can do this. That was actually not that bad, but that was $44 at Costco. And then we did spend $14 at Target to get some pouches for our baby. I've been bringing pouches a lot on the go and snacks in general on the go, because this little chunkster has been asked for snacks when we're out in public a lot. But that is actually all the expenses for these last 2 weeks. And let's go ahead and lay down our none spent stickers. These are the stickers that I use to symbolize the days that nothing was spent. And this month, it does not look like there was a lot of those successful days. And I'm actually going to just use tweezers instead because I'm struggling a little bit. Yes, so let's just lay these down. It looks like we have a 1, 2, 3. We'll put the red one on this side. 4, 5. Let's do 6. And we'll do a red one. 7. So this last week we did well, but overall for the month we did not start off with a lot at all, which is okay. And I guess we might as well just add up the none spent. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 none spent for the month. It definitely could be worse. Now let's go ahead and look at our sinking funds, since we did spend quite a bit for sinking funds as well. Sinking funds is just a separate category that we use for any additional funds that we don't normally spend day to day. These are just the ones we have for savings for large expenses. But the first one we have is for clothes. For clothes, we didn't spend anything necessarily from clothes, but we did decide to take $50 from the clothes category to finish off our December savings challenge, so we could fully save that $90. And I have been getting a couple of you guys asking about these saving challenges too, and these will be coming to the shop. I just have to finish out the remaining of the year, and then I'll be able to release them by quarters for January, February, March, April, May, June, so on and so forth. But I'm really happy that you guys like these little savings challenges. But yes, so let me go ahead and continue with our sinking funds. Next, we have a couple of home categories. One was $120 for an air fryer oven that we ended up getting from Costco. We use an air fryer quite a lot, but the one that we have is a bit older, and it's one of the ones where you kind of like, it's a basket you pull in and out. So for this one, it's actually like a larger, kind of like a toaster oven situation, but it is like an air fryer as well. There's a lot more space to work with too, easier to clean. So I'm really happy with it. We've been using it for about maybe a week now, and it's been doing justice. So we're really happy with this one. And then we also got a couple of new pillows from Costco as well for $26. Then for our holiday category, this was our Christmas category, but we changed it to overall just holiday to cover any holiday expenses. So for this one, we spent $30 for a white elephant gift for Dustin's family's upcoming Christmas party. And then from gifts and treating, we did also spend $120 to treat his grandma, his mother, his brother. Like, we had a little tiny family gathering when they came down, so we just treated them and just bought all the food for everybody. And then last but not least, we had our baby category. We restocked on diapers since Costco was having a sale. That was $264. We restocked on all the diapers that we'll need for our baby that's coming in February, along with our 15-month-old. We got a bunch of diapers and wipes, so hopefully that should hold us over, and hopefully we should not have to buy diapers again for a while. Though I know that we do need at least one box of newborn diapers, which they did not have, so we'll have to purchase that online. But that was for all of our sinking fund expenses. Now let's go ahead and start checking in for the week. Since we are skipping week 3, we're just checking in straight for week 4. I'm just going to go ahead and draw the lines to go downwards. So we're checking in everything in week 4's budget. My baby is also awake now. She just woke up from her nap. Okay, let's see. For a weekly check-in, let's write in all these categories. We have eating out. All right, so I wrote down all the categories for eating out: groceries, gas allowance, pups and bean. This weekly check-in is specifically to check in the categories that we have a visual for, to try to track any patterns that we might have, like when we spend from these categories. And these are the ones I always say would be like our cash envelopes if we were to use cash envelopes. Well, now let's track these in. So from eating out, which is this gingerbready, light gingerbread color, we have quite a few expenses. So let's go through them. The first one is going to be for Krispy Kreme. That's $20 plus 50/50, which is $35. So that is it from this side. Then for the other side, we have a few more. Oh, or just one more actually. All right, the Habit Grow, which was $22. So that in total is $77 that was spent from the eating out category. And then we don't do any rollovers, so I'm just gonna put dashes in there. But that was $77 spent. And let me actually, I'm going to put this bookmark right here. Okay, I just wanted to put the bookmark right here just so it's easier to flip back to the weekly check-in. But next we have is groceries. For groceries, we have the light pink color, so nothing on this side, but we have a few on the left side. So one of them is $46 from Costco plus $33 each Mart plus $44 Costco again. That is $123. So $123. I can already tell this one's negative. I'm surprised that our eating out category is not negative, which I am very happy about, of course. Never want to be negative, but I just thought that this month for the holiday season, we definitely under budgeted. So I'm pretty happy so far. Gas, we did refill in gas, and that was for one gas expense, that is $35. So gas, $35. And then for allowance, I believe we spent from one for allowance too, which is this color. We did one of them, which was Starbucks, and that was $15 that was spent for a refill. Then our pups and babies category, we have one as well, which was that $14 for pouches, and that looks like that is everything besides all the bills. So we're looking good. $14. All right, so let's see what we have remaining for each category to wrap up for the month. For eating out, we did have 78. Of course, that minus the 77 means we have a $1 left over, which is very nice. Then for our groceries category, we had 88. That minus the 123 that we spent for the last 2 weeks, we are negative $35. For gas, we had $17 left over. That minus 35 equals $18 negative as well. We definitely should have not taken $40 out of our gas, because we did take $40 out, I think week 1 check-in or week 2 check-in for our little savings challenge. We would have been fine if we didn't take that money out. But I think it's also because this month we went to go visit his mother. So that was an additional gas refill that we normally wouldn't have had. We'll know for next year to definitely budget more for the holiday season. Anyway, for allowance, we had $15 remaining. After the $15, we spent $15, which means we have nothing else in this category. And then for pups bean, we had $22. That minus the $14 equals $8 left over. Okay, I was struggling with writing that $8, so we're just gonna stick with what it looks like right now. And let's go ahead and move on. Now that we have our cash envelopes, or like our daily expenses mapped out and written down, let's go ahead and balance out our checking account. We are cashless budgeters. We don't use cash for anything. We do use credit cards for everything, and that's what we've been doing for years now. So this is kind of how we keep track of everything and stay on budget. I do apologize. I have been struggling with energy levels lately. I just have not been able to find time to do a lot of things because I've been sleeping when I can. And also, like, I've been trying to prioritize my work, which is my 8 to 5 job, because since I am going to be going on maternity leave, there's just a lot of things I have to wrap up. So I'm just kind of all over the place right now, just jumping around. Let's see. So for our daily categories, this is the ones that we just calculated for. Let's see how much we spent in total. And that is $77 plus $123 plus $35 plus $15 plus $14. And you definitely don't have to have these names like I do. It's just what I prefer calling them as. You can definitely call them like cash envelopes, for example, too. But this is just what I prefer. But $264 is what we spent in total. Then for our bills, we had a bunch of bills that came out for this remainder of the week, which is just all the remaining bills, really. But let's see. For our mortgage went up. So our mortgage is now $2,317.66. So that one's written down. We had our HBO, $16.95 that came out. Then we had our internet was $117. Internet is normally supposed to be a fixed amount, so we're gonna have to calculate that difference since now it has gone up and is no longer $89.99. So I will show you guys where I put the missing money in a second. But that was internet. Spotify came out as well, $11.65, and we also have student loans, which was $124.40. And that was all of the student loans that we have. And that is all the bills that we had for the month of December accounted for. So we are looking good. Now we won't need to reference back to the spread anymore. But let's talk about that difference. So for our internet, normally my planner is so stuffed right now, it keeps sticking up. But anyway, so for that internet, normally it was supposed to be $89.99, but now since it's $117, the difference between the two is $27.01. Since it's supposed to be fixed, I don't have like an actual category like I would for variable expenses, so I am going to just put that amount in our holder category. If you guys remember, for Netflix, that also went up, which is why that was also short. It seems like 'tis the season for all the bills to go up at the moment, so I am going to just put those extra funds in here so we don't miscalculate and we're not short by $27.01. So let me just add that in here. So that plus $2.12 is $29.13. I hope that that's not too confusing. It's just only because these are fixed amounts. Technically, I could just white all of this out and kind of just like plug it back in, but I'm not going to do that since we do set up our budget per quarter together. If you guys are familiar with the way that we budget, we do set up every single quarter together, trying to kind of reevaluate our expenses to see how much we should budget and then try to stick to that budget so we can have all of our results at the end of the quarter. Yes, I'm definitely like, I feel like I'm jumping all around the world in this video. What were we doing? That's right. So we were checking in for the weekly check-in for bills. So let's actually just add all of these up. We had that 117. That was our new internet amount. Then we had Spotify that came out, $11.65, plus we had HBO, $16.95, plus our mortgage, which is $23.17.66, and then we also had our student loans, which is $124.40. So in total for all the bills that came out for the last couple weeks is going to be $2,587.66. All right, last but not least, our last category, and of course, as always, broken down into a bunch of subcategories, which is our sinking funds. We know we had a bunch of sinking funds come out as well, so we should just add all of these up too. We had, first one is clothes, which is $50, plus our home category, $26, plus $120, plus $30, plus another $120, and then plus $264. So that in total is going to be $610 that came out of our sinking funds. And we're going to just write that in as well. So $610 spent from our sinking funds. I can't get over how much we've been spending this holiday season. I don't know if it's because I'm more mindful of it compared to previous years, or if we just are really spending that much more this holiday season, but anyway, let's just continue. So for our daily, we had $220 last time we checked in, and then for this week we did spend $264, so we're into negative by $44 for this month. Then for our bills, we had $2,601.10. That minus $2,587.66 equals $13.44 that we're in the positive for. Then we have our sinking funds. Sinking funds, we had $1,028 last time we checked in. Then we spent $610 this week, which means we have $418 left over in our sinking funds. And I think that's the least amount in our sinking funds we've ever had, which is crazy. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do our transfers so we can pay our credit card, and then we're going to go ahead and balance out our checking and savings accounts, since I always show you guys how much is in those accounts. This is kind of what we left off with last time. This was how much was in our short-term savings, and this was how much we had checked in for, and that number ends with our week 2 check-in. So we have some transfers to do, but let me actually show you guys how much is in our short-term savings currently. Okay, so for our short-term savings, we did get our last 2 paychecks, and we also got interest in here. So these are just some older stickers that I have, but the amount that's in here currently is actually an even amount of $7,530.00. And let me show you guys how we got that number. So we did get interest already. What was the previous amount? Okay, 4759.05. We got interest of $20.95 in here for our short-term savings. That so far already bumped it up. And then we got our last 2 paychecks of the month. Since this month we did get paid 5 times. Whoops. And for the last 2 paychecks, one of them was $1,250, no variance, and then the one after that is $1,500, and that's a $250 variance. Now let's add that together, plus 1250 plus 1500 equals that amount, that's $7,530. So we're really lucky that we were able to get an extra paycheck for this year, for this and last month of December. We normally would have used that to pay down some of our debt, but we decided to actually keep most of it in our short-term checking account because our baby will be born in February, and we just wanted to have that extra funds to cover any medical expenses, since we know that our medical bills are going to be probably a couple thousand. So we just wanted to just keep that in there for that. But I realized I never actually tallied all this up. So $6,250, and then our actual, which is $7,000, and then our variance is $750. So that is what this is looking like so far. When we do our debt video, I'll probably write the notes in here for how much we're gonna put towards our debt and how much we're just gonna keep in the account for medical bills. But that is just what our income looks like. We are hourly workers, so normally these do fluctuate by the cents or the pennies and everything like that. But the reason why I put it into these exact estimates is because me and my husband do keep a little bit for ourselves, and the rest of it we do put in our joint account, and that's why it looks like this. In the past we used to put every single penny in here, but we find that we've been enjoying keeping a little bit for ourselves so we can treat each other to stuff or surprise each other with something, and we don't see how much was spent on that item. But that is what our variable income looks like, and this probably will be changing in 2024 because I'm hoping to have some additional variable income that I can start incorporating in here and showing you guys. But we'll talk about that in the new year. But now, what were we doing? That's right. Okay, so we balanced out our short-term savings. Now let's go ahead and do our second checking account. In order to balance that out, we need to do some transfers since we owe our credit card. First things first is for daily. We know that everything that we spend from this category, we pay with a credit card. Absolutely everything we pay with our credit card. And then for sinking funds as well, everything's paid with credit card. That means those two added up together so far, we have to transfer $874 from our second checking account over to our primary account, since this first checking account is what we use to make any outgoing payments or outgoing funds. If you guys are curious about our bank accounts, how we set them up, how we got started, how they work together, how we use them, all of that stuff, I will have videos linked below as always explaining them, because if I go through it now, I would definitely talk your ear off, especially for those of you who already know how I do things over here. But let me go ahead and go back to how much we have to transfer. Okay, I'm actually going to just transfer that $874 right now real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is now transferred. So that means that these two categories are good. Now, last but not least is our bills. We have to make a transfer too. If you guys know, for bills, we do try to hook up whatever we can to our credit card. And that's only because we like to get that cash rewards back since we were paying it regardless, and also to help us build credit and all of that good stuff. But not everything goes to credit cards, since some organizations charge a fee or a penalty. So mortgage came out of our checking account automatically, so they already got their money out of the account. Same with student loans, that automatically came out of the account. The only things that came out of our credit card is internet, Spotify, and HBO. These are the bills that came out this week that came out of credit card. So let's add those up together. We know internet, the amount is $117, plus Spotify $11.65, plus HBO $16.95. Since these are paid with credit card, we still owe our credit card for paying these bills. So we're going to go ahead and transfer over that $145.60 over from our second checking to our primary, and we'll be right back. Okay, so that is now officially transferred. Now that means all of our bills are accounted for and we are looking good for our results video. But now to do our final calculation. And it looks like for this second checking account, we actually got 2 cents of interest. So I'm just going to put that here because if I don't, it's going to be 2 cents off. So we ended up getting 2 cents of interest. And that interest every month always gets added in there. And I feel like it's always the same amount of interest that gets added every single month. But I do need to put that there or it's going to be 2 cents off. But now let's go ahead and talk about how much is left in this account. So the amount that is left in this account is currently, what is it? It is $387.46, which is really, I don't think we've ever had this little in this account as a balance, but that is how much is currently in here. And let's go ahead and just see if that matches. So we know that this amount, of course, balanced out with last week's or the week 2's check-in. So those two numbers match. So let's see if these two numbers match for this week. We have $418 plus that little 2 cents plus the $13.44. And then we have minus $44 for the negative. And that's $387.46 matches perfectly. So we are completely balanced out for our second checking account. I'm just going to write that here because I just always do now. $387.46. All right, so that is looking good. These accounts are now balanced and we're ready for the next month, which is January 2024 for the first budget of 2024. I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. And now to also show you guys another way that I also like to just double check is we know that last week we balanced $38.49 and 10 cents. Then this week we spent $264. We also had bills $2587.66. And then we also spent $610. So that also matches. Oh, it's also off by plus 0.02. for the little 2 cents of interest, but that also matches as well. So that's another way that we can double check. But that is actually going to be it for this 2 weeks check-in. I feel like this video was definitely long because it was 2 weeks. But I hope that you guys did enjoy it nonetheless. If you guys have any questions, please do definitely let me know. I will be doing a results video next, though I don't know if that's going to go up right after this video. Schedule for videos is very off right now. I'm trying to figure it out since I got so many videos to get out. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. Thank you guys so much as always for tuning in. I hope that you guys had a beautiful Christmas season and also a wonderful New Year's, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.